They did it. I predicted it would happen, and they totally did it. Nintendo's Spotlight. Everyone was like, oh man, 25 minutes. That sucks. It sucks that Nintendo is just choosing to be bad this year. It sucks that in 25 minutes you clearly can't announce anything. I'm surprised I didn't get kicked out. I didn't get a noise complaint because I made a lot of weird noises during the entirety of the Spotlight, and I know a lot of people did as well. It wasn't just me. People I'm texting, people I'm seeing tweeting are just losing their minds over basically everything that they showed. For one, Rocket League is coming to the Switch, and it's cross-network with every other console. Except for Sony, for some reason. You can't play with PS4 players, but whatever, you can play against PC. That's awesome. Rocket League is an amazing game. On the Switch, it's going to be excellent, so I'm double dipping on Rocket League, that's for damn sure. FIFA, I'll just give FIFA credit, because apparently it's actually a competent version of FIFA. It's not some watered-down garbage that you would expect EA to do. It just doesn't have the story mode. It's whatever. So, I like that. And then Nintendo just went crazy. Nintendo just went absolutely crazy. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 looks awesome. I like the anime art style. I know a lot of people don't. And I don't know how, but that game is coming out this year. There's still time to delay it, and I wouldn't be surprised if it does get delayed. But they're sticking to their guns that it's coming out this year. I cannot, I refuse to believe it. I refuse. I'm gonna have the credits rolling as I've beaten it. I'm gonna be like, it's probably not coming out this year. I just do not see it happening. But bless them, it looks awesome. Some music has also gone on to the official Japanese Nintendo site for E3. And it sounds awesome. It's the music that we all wanted from the first Xenoblade. Xenoblade Chronicles X, good game. But the first game way better in like every aspect. So the fact this is a pure sequel, just with a bit of an anime aesthetic, totally fine with me. Kirby's coming to the Switch. I predicted it would happen because it's Kirby's 25th anniversary and Treehouse is still going on, so I have not seen the 3DS game, which I'm assuming will get shown off at some point this week. But I knew there would be a Kirby game. I felt a Switch game would be happening. I thought it would be a 3D game. I didn't think they would be using the Return to Dreamland model again. There's a lot of cool stuff though. There's a stronger co-op emphasis that works more in line with how Superstar played, as opposed to just how Returns was, and it was just multiple different characters that were kind of different and only had one ability. This seems a lot more Superstar-esque, and I'm cool with that. And then also, mixed abilities are coming back too, from Kirby 64. And I thought it was going to be trash at first, because Squeak Squad had it too, and it was trash there. But then you combined stone with ice, and you became a curling stone. It's coming out 2018, which sucks. I know I give Sony a lot of crap for that, but at least Nintendo, for all we know, that could still be early 2018. And if that is the case, I'm okay with that, because that's between E3s. So, I'm okay with that at least. Then they announced they're making a Pokemon game for Switch, which we all sort of saw coming. I'm personally not a fan of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I am not interested at all. I'm of the belief where, I believe I said this, that I think it should have been on Switch as well. And I got a lot of people saying, they wouldn't possibly be working on a new console this soon. This is Game Freak we're talking about. Turns out they're working with the Switch, so oops, it's just not early enough to show yet. Yeah, it's gonna, like, it was gonna happen. It was a lot of weird deniers that people are not thinking the 3DS is going to be outphased by the Switch. It's gonna happen. You have a core Pokemon game on console. That's not a coincidence. That's the next move for Nintendo. I mean, obviously it's a wait and see scenario. I don't know if it's gonna be Gen 8. It'd be weird, I guess, to announce it before Gen 7 is done. We'll see. At least we know it's coming, and it's just nice. And as much as it sucks having games announced that you know aren't going to come for a long time, the reassurance of developers that are typically on portable working on console now, even though it is a weird hybrid situation, it's nice to see. Same with Kirby. While Return to Dreamland was a bit of a fluke, main Kirby games, as of late, tend to typically be on consoles. The Game Boy Advance had some, the DS had some, and the 3DS had some. You had one on the Wii, and then one on the 64, and that's it. So, all these companies jumping ship. Same with Fire Emblem. It's nice to see, and it's going to be great seeing what the games look like more going forward. Yoshi, a sequel to Woolly World. It is developed by the same guys. It's developed by Goodfeel, and it looks like Yoshi's story. I mean, it's hard to really tell from the first trailer because it looked very slow-paced, but it had a lot of 3D elements to it, and it looked a lot like Yoshi's story. But if Goodfeel is anything to go by, their track record with the Nintendo franchises has been top-notch. Wario Land Shake It, Kirby's Epic Yarn, Yoshi's Woolly World, and now another Yoshi game. If they are the main Yoshi developers going forward, don't have a problem with that whatsoever. God, we're only halfway done. Then we got a little bit of Fire Emblem Warriors, which I am totally down for. Hyrule Warriors I spent an absurd amount of time in, and I love Fire Emblem, so it's a match made in heaven. I am a little upset that they're only covering the first game with Marth, and then Awakening and Fates. Not even Echoes, which just came out. The far sides of the spectrum. I understand that Fire Emblem just recently became pretty big thanks to Awakening, and then partially thanks to Fates, so I get it. But if there are no characters from any other games, it's going to be kind of upsetting. I understand the mentality of every main lord is a sword wielder, so it would get repetitive. But Hyrule Warriors DLC covered a wide plethora of games, so there's still plenty of opportunities to show that. Yeah, it looks good. And that's coming out this year, too. So, there goes 200 plus hours of my life, most likely. Boy, Breath of the Wild DLC, I didn't think they would show this off, but it looked pretty cool. They finally showed what the story DLC is going to be, and it makes sense now. So you have the main DLC, or the first DLC, which is just this massive trial, and I don't remember where hard mode plays in, like which DLC it comes with, but it looks cool. For those of you who have played Breath of the Wild, there's an island called Eventide, where you just sort of, I won't spoil it, but it seems very similar in concept to that, just on a grander scale. That's cool. And then the story DLC is, I guess, going to take place in the past, which actually makes a bit of sense, given the context of the story. So that's cool. I didn't think they would show it off. I thought there'd be a Treehouse exclusive, but I think I'm sold on it. Breath of the Wild is obviously an amazing game, so I'm down to play more of it. And there was Breath of the Wild Amiibo because they just... I'm so close to finishing my collection. I haven't stopped collecting Amiibo, okay? They're all right there. I have a bunch of them. I'm only missing a few, and I would have basically all of them besides weird ones like the Monster Hunter ones. And they refuse to stop announcing Amiibo. This isn't the only time they announced Amiibo, so was a 4 Breath of the Wild Amiibo on top of the 5 that already exist, as well as the Guardian, which is already stupid expensive to find. It never ends. Then Reggie came out on the beach and hyped up some tournaments, which is fine. Talk about ARMS and Splatoon a little bit more without wasting our time too much. A little bit of Rabbids talk, which I didn't talk about that yet. Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle looks actually really cool. The cutscenes with the full animation for Mario and Peach, that looked adorable. I think Rabbid Peach is amazing. When you read it on paper, a rabbit dressed as Princess Peach loves taking selfies sounds like the most cringeworthy thing ever, because that's what the Rabbids, I could see them doing with. It seems that bad. But in all actuality, it's actually hilarious. And Rabbid Peach is, like, very disgusted by normal Peach. And Rabbid Luigi's just an idiot. And, like, it looks really charming. And apparently it plays exactly like XCOM, which I've never played. So this will be my catalyst to that genre, I guess. Because I'm totally on board with this. And then they announced not Amiibo. At least it's not Amiibo, so I don't need to collect them. But, that looks pretty damn cool as well. There are quite a few games coming out this year. They still announced 2018 games, but there's still like a few 2017 stuff. Rocket League, I think they said is coming out this year. Again, that's awesome. And then everyone was thinking, Monster Hunter? Fossil Fighters? What is this? Super Mario Odyssey. I knew the first big trailer after the reveal was going to blow my mind. Couldn't pinpoint how, though. by damn Super Mario Odyssey. I'm recording this after the Mario Odyssey presentation in the treehouse as well. That game looks like damn perfection. Like, it's probably gonna overthrow Breath of the Wild in terms of Nintendo games of the year. At the very least, I think Odyssey's gonna do it. I can't even begin, because it'll take 20 minutes just to talk about that little trailer. This theme song is fantastic, and I cannot wait for, like, it's gonna take 3 days for everybody to memorize the lyrics, and then once the game comes out, everyone's gonna be singing it. It's gonna be, I think, cool. It sounds cool right now, but in 4 months, who knows? Then, like, all the hats, they have so many references. Obviously, there's the 8-bit stuff, but then he has the costume from Smash, which is from an old golf game on the NES. He has a safari outfit, which is actually his outfit from Mario's Picross. So they're just referencing a bunch of stuff with these outfits, and then there's a bunch of actual outfits that change, I guess, how you play. I don't remember if they're just aesthetics or they change how you play, because I know the mariachi outfit, you use that to get one of the moons, which are the main collectibles in the game. It just... If you haven't seen that trailer yet, I don't know what you're doing. That game looked amazing. Oh god, I completely bypassed it. Metroid was a thing too. I think I was so busy catching my breath. It was right before Yoshi. They announced Metroid Prime 4 is coming to the Switch. I couldn't. I lost my mind multiple times in this conference, or this whatever, their spotlight. I guess I forgot to write it down because I was like trying to catch my breath, and I was like, oh, Yoshi, cool. They really used Yoshi as a cool-off point after Metroid, and apparently, it's not developed by Retro Studios. It's developed by a new, I think, in-house development team. It sounds a bit worrisome. I'm sure it's going to be totally fine once we see it. The question is, though, what the hell is Retro Studios doing? Another year is going by, and I don't know if they're working on Star Tropics or not. Because that's been the rumor for years, and we still don't know, and it's gonna drive me insane. Luckily, there's enough stuff to hold me over. But on top of Mario Odyssey, they announced 5 more Amiibo. Mario, Peach, and Bowser in wedding outfits, because I didn't realize I needed that in my life, but now I do. And then they just also announced a Koopa Troopa and a Goomba. Cool. Fill out that Mario library. They clearly couldn't just out of nowhere be like, here's a Goomba amiibo. It would sell like garbage. It probably still will sell pretty bad, but tied with everything else, it's gonna do really well. And they've also said that pre-existing amiibo are going to work with the game, which I'm guessing is just a bunch of outfits for everybody. Oh my god. So, yeah, it's Super Mario Odyssey. That trailer, I've already watched it like 4 or 5 times. I'm recording this later than I wanted to because I kept watching the trailer. And then I was like, let's watch Treehouse for a little bit. Treehouse is always fun. And then Reggie just came out and was like, hey, we got stuff. I hope you enjoy E3. I also got a new game to show. You might find this interesting. And they're remaking Metroid 2 on the 3DS. That was probably my biggest freak out moment because it came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, I see 3DS, and then I see Samus, and I had to stand up, and I was screaming, like, what in the hell is going on? Like, Nintendo, it makes sense now. They did a DMCA takedown notice for the AM2R, a fan game, which was a really damn good remake of Metroid 2. And that is still awesome. Like, AM2R is still an amazing game. But it makes sense now. They just so happened, after this one guy has been working on a Metroid 2 remake for, I don't even know how long. Conveniently enough, Nintendo's working on their own. Sure. Metroid 2 is a very, unloved gem in the Metroid series. Because it's very archaic, because it was the second Metroid game on the Game Boy. But has a lot of really cool ideas going for it, and you really get to appreciate that in the remake, which does have some new stuff, but it's still at its core Metroid 2. It manages to be linear without feeling so constrained like Other M did. And it has some animation styles that they took from Other M. Other M had good stuff, so when Samus just is fighting the beast and then just like slams it onto the ground, that's totally Other M. And it could be this one could be a little worrisome too, because it's done by Mercury Steam, I believe it's called, who did the Castlevania Lords of Shadow game on 3DS, which apparently wasn't great. Obviously, you know, time will tell, because it's coming out in September. Why not just release it as soon as possible? What happened? What happened to this E3? This was the weirdest E3 that they showed. I know some people are upset because Nintendo did the thing that people typically don't like, and they just say, here's a title card coming out sometime next year. And I get it. It's different, I feel, when it comes to a game like Metroid, which you haven't seen in a long time. Yoshi, understandable. I can totally see that, because that's just sort of like... that was clearly just meant to fill out some space. But it's cool that it's coming out. Like, that's going to be a really cool game. But unless they're demoing it at Treehouse at some point, it's going to be like, oh, okay. So that we have a Yoshi game coming at some point down in the future. They did the same thing with Kirby, but I don't care. I don't care. We have another Kirby game coming for the Switch. And it's not exactly what I wanted, but I want a 3D game. But obviously I'm going to play the hell out of it, and I'm going to make a video on it, of course, whenever it decides to come out. What else is there? Oh yeah, and then they announced Metroid Amiibo. So there's a Samus Amiibo, which is like, oh cool. And then there's a Metroid Amiibo, and the Metroid part, like the little top bit, is like squishy. So that's what? That's 11 Amiibo? It's 5, 4, and 2. Yeah, there's 11 Amiibo. On top of like how many are coming out in like the next couple months. You know, I had very low expectations, in all honesty. A lot of wish list stuff. We didn't get Animal Crossing. We didn't get a Diddy Kong Racing. Which I'm still guessing we will get Animal Crossing at some point. There's still plenty of time in the year to announce that. Nintendo can just announce a big game whenever they want. They can just start another Nintendo Direct and be like, hey, here's Animal Crossing. Just a matter of time. This was a big E3 for Nintendo. The first E3 with the Switch after the very lackluster Wii U. This was a very big deal for Nintendo. And despite going so against the grain to do a 25-minute spotlight, which he promised back-to-back trailers and a bunch of first looks. He nailed that promise, and I just gotta hope that this builds up enough hype to have the next year of Switch be even better. Because that's the goal, right? Because when you look at it, it was still a bunch of first-party games. Rabbids is technically third-party, and then Rocket League. They didn't even have an indie game reel. So once we get a little bit more third-party support in there, and if Nintendo keeps this momentum going with Retro Studios working on Star Tropics, oh boy. So that's it. E3 is done. Thank you guys so much for watching my recap videos. I know it was a very different thing. I just wanted to give it a shot. It's not, so I don't know if I'll do it next year. It's a wait and see type of thing, but I hope you enjoyed them. I am still working on main episodes. I've been working on episodes in between shows, but now I'm just going to be a bit of a blob and watch Treehouse for the rest of the day and wait until Kirby pops up and then freak out again. So, thank you guys for watching once again. Let me know what your most hyped stuff from E3 is, because for me, it's probably Kirby and Metroid Prime 4. I think I dropped my phone. And there was more Crash Bandicoot stuff that got revealed today too, and that was awesome. Today was a good day. It was a very good day. So, I'm gonna go. Bye-bye!